especially in middle, were all due to timing plays that Wildcard were ready for.
Yeah, it was the spam middle. It was the spam through the wall on B as well to find an opening. I think it was that was in the first or second rifle round as well, to add insult to injury, right when they had a strategy in mind and a game plan to go for. We are heading into the second map of Vertigo, the 51st floor. Wildcard, it appears they won both knife rounds because on both maps they start on the CT side. That is a very non-trivial advantage. Worked wonders on Ancient. It should work wonders here because, again, as I mentioned, the T side of Boss is sub 40% win rate on this map, in spite of their positive record.
Yeah, it's not a good T side, and Boss need all these CT sides they can get. Also don't have a great pistol round on this map either, 35.7%, so just over 1/3 of the time they win the pistol. So far, not really any damage taken, and Cryptic might be able to get something creeping through the smoke. But the bomb's going to go towards B, and it's leading the charge. Stanislaw and Sonic, 2 heads apiece, maybe a third on the board. No, Sonic falls. Freshie has the bomb, but he is getting converged upon and kind of has to hold the line. All alone, Glock, Dink, Glock lineup. Not a kill, though, and it's all a collapse for Boss. They
no bomb
just
plant.
Can't get the kills.
Can't get the kills. No bomb plant. They're going to be on Glocks again. Round 2 on Ancient was over in the blink of an eye. It was a rush into B with a bomb plant secured. We'll see if that comes through again, or if they'll play a little bit more slowly on this second of Vertigo. Wildcard know it's going to be safe. They're reading into that tendency from the last one, and they're going full SMGs on the CT side. Fozy saving a bit in the bank, not buying utility, presumably so he can farm up some cash and buy an op ASAP. And Boss, not going as quick, but perhaps for a pop play ramp if they hear contact.
Slow train from Boss. They'll move around. And Susp is ready to receive the oncoming kickoff. MP9 up top, gets one, and actually takes a thing, so Susp will have to retreat a little bit more. Grabs the second, he's low on ammo, has to get bailed out by Sonic, who does just that. 3 for Sonic, 2 for Susp, all MP9 kills out of the all MP9 CT side. And for Wildcard, as good of a start, if not better, than they had on Ancient. And if they can shut down the rifle round here from Boss or cause significant damage, it becomes even more positive for them because Wildcard have MP9s and utility, and you cannot underestimate the power of the MP9.
Especially not on this map. Close range, almost across the board. A ramp and maybe long range mid if you get there are your only two really long range engagements. Everything else is kind of niche, angle related, has to be very specifically peaked. So the MP9s will thrive in this situation. I have no doubt Wildcard will play them to their maximal effect. Boss walking up ramp, slowly getting control. They're lacking a bit of utility. That's because they didn't get the bomb plant in round 2 like they did on that first map of Ancient. But it's 4 AKs and a selfless Galil from Freshie. Minute 10. Have control. They will throw their execute as well. Fozy getting ready with a nade to prevent or at least hurt the bomb planter. The Boss are kind of dawdling, sitting. They throw their exec utility. Now they're just on the ramp, biding their time, hoping that someone probes for information. Not the look I want to see from a proactive T side.
The whole game plan was dependent on the MP9s taking the initiative. And now that they do, Cryptic's going to farm too. But still, Boss are slow to move to the side proper. The smokes will fade. There's only one left for Darty. A flash as well. Fruit Cup finally advancing and getting the bomb down. Boss holding here. Wildcard, there's not really a reason to save. Go do what damage you can. And if you can grab an AK, maybe it spirals out into more. Slight and... well, Slight with 2. Fruit Cup with the last. Only one falls. That's Slight. I thought Slight was going to go 1 for 1 on that little elevator engagement, but he wins both duels. And for the first time in these 2 best of ones, Boss get on the board. And now with Wildcard coming at it with their rifle pie, it's going to be limited because JBA wants all that utility. Stanislaw will only have a smoke and a flash unless JBA drops some to him or somebody else on the roster. There's only one kit and 2 players sans helmets up against AKs. It's not going to matter too much. But an opportunity for Boss here.
Helmet should have been given up. Rosie can drop his, get a little bit of extra utility. Same for Susp. Or they can go for kits. We have one in play, as you mentioned, on JBA. Don't need helmets. You know they're going to be on AKs across the board. If not, maybe have an op in play. Maybe. That's a big maybe. So you shouldn't be paranoid. Wildcard. Spam from Sus. Good for a first. Walk up middle almost works on a timing for Freshie. We were talking in the green room about him not really lurking. Looks like he's back to his old antics, at least on Vertigo. Didn't quite find the timing, though, as he was felled by Fozy. Stanislaw, very niche angle towards side halt. Catches Darty's shoulder. He's shut down before he can do anything. Cryptic behind him, smoked off, stymied from any further aggression. Fruitcup will group up towards A, but in 2 versus 5, what can a pair of AK really do? Answers struggled. JBA got the spot. That was the bomb as well that he noted. Not looking good for Boss in round 4.
No, it's looking the opposite of good for Boston in round 4. They're just walking into angles and getting picked off. And while we saw a good game plan for them on Ancient, Vertigo looks like they've achieved a little bit of the status ailment. It's just unsure, unstructured, and all around flat. 1 kill, not really worth much at all. And no bomb plant means Boss are going to have to force into this, be lacking for firepower and utility. Freshie's on a Tech 9, which he'll downgrade to a P250. I'm very concerned right now for Boss.
As am I.
All the promise from last map, gone.
Yeah, granted, it's Vertigo. It's a lot more dawdling, a lot less map. But I am concerned as well. I think there should be more proactivity. More splits, perhaps.
Or at least if you're going to peek an angle, buddy peek. If you don't have utility, like just dry peeking angles is not going to work against Wildcard. It's definitely not going to work at the RMR.
These two could face off at the RMR.
Mm-hmm. My point.
It'll be good practice for them. Rude awakening. Stanislaw up close. The first at bat finds one side. A good trade. It's the combined power of numbers to get the inroads for Boss as they get 2 kills in response. Fruitcup and Slight tagged relatively low. Fozy at side hall might not be expected. Fresh is actually holding it. Never mind. He is expected. The question is, will there be a shot? Freshy, there is a good flick. Shot connected. 2 versus 4 for Sonic and Susp. CT's getting a little bit too aggressive for their own good. Looks like a save is already going to be the call. Both heading towards B. Both know it's likely going to be an A play.
I like the cutout here.
Pretty unintentionally hunting. Caught on the side. Now they go for it. 2 versus 3 is far more manageable, and that gives them a way back in. Good damage on the Slight. Time is now of the essence. 20 seconds left. Fruitcup finds one, though. That might make Sonic reconsider his situation. He's our player to watch for a reason. Good shot. I thought it was a dink. It was not. Fruitcup's shot. His aim is better, at least in this scenario. 2 to 3. A second secured for Boss. And infinitely more rounds found in this map than the last.
Yeah, and a Boss player's aim being better is not something we've been able to say throughout the course of these 2 best of 1 so far. So for Boss, that's a more promising round. They take advantage of Wildcard sniffing around, playing a little over aggressive, and Wildcard are going to try to fix their early issues by calling a timeout here. Their money's also at a very awkward spot of MP9 for Fozy, a 5-7 on their captain in Stanislaw. No kit appears to be available either. If I'm Fozy, I'm probably dropping that helmet, getting a kit. Or JBA. Because
we're done with helmets.
If you're... 1, we're done with helmets. 2, if you're going to force, you might as well give yourself a chance. your chances are significantly limited without a kit. But we have a technical pause now, so things will not start all the way on the conclusion of that wild card attack, which will give us a little more time to... I don't know if you can really analyze that last round too much. It was pretty much wild card trying to fight and establish dominance down B, and they got number diffed.
Down A, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I still get the sides confused on this map sometimes.
Just covering our backs, you know. We say things, we make mistakes more often than not, honestly.
More often than we'd like to admit.
Sometimes they slip under the radar. Sometimes you get cooked in chat. Got to cover it quick.
True that. Thank you for the covering fire, my friend.
We're at war, as our wildcard and boss, who have done away with the temporary ceasefire and are ready to butt heads once more. M-Force, a trio. 2 A1Ss, 1 A4. Love the A4 being in play, back in vogue. You mentioned no kit and helmets. A little bit stupefying, but habit. Full AK's T side and Fruit Cup is lurking over towards B. Do we still have that tried and true lurker freshie in middle? I can't tell on the map.
He's playing deep middle for the push.
I don't hate it either.
It's an anti-pistol play, generally.
That spot definitely tells him there's at least one pistol in play. Stanislav was the one jumping. Dancing as the entry to so much damage, but gets no kills. He spots 3. That should signal a rotation. But Sonic doubling down. Things are going to spiral out of control rather quickly. Slight 1. Rain things back in. Nope, it's a trade from Fozy at range with the MP9. He gets another spot. And so much damage onto Fruit Cup. It's still 2 lurks alone versus what was 3. What was 4, excuse me. Freshie gets a trade onto Fruit Cup. Sonic and Susp, though, still have the main advantage on paper, although Sonic is low. A mid-flank is a very interesting call. Neither A nor B, instead going for a proactive rotation down middle. This could catch out Freshie, who has stopped in his tracks and is hoping someone gets aggressive. The issue is the aggression is coming around the backside, not the front.
Will he check his backside?
Definitely not. He does get around the corner, but he's been spotted. Not long for the world at this stage. Sonic should have him. And the smoke, it doesn't connect. It gives Freshie an opportunity now. He will throw a flash high and get out, but he misses the player, so Susp gets the trade. An awkward duel, and one that very nearly works in Freshie's favor. But a duel lost, and the lead reestablished for Wildcard.
Now, Nate, one thing I have to say, the spacing that you brought up over on Ancient is being highlighted here on Vertigo, especially on those A-ramp takes. That first duel, there's no trade potential. Same thing in the round prior. No trade potential initially on that side hall contact. There needs to be some sort of trade potential on those initial entries. If you have the trade potential for Darty, it's a different round. Wild cards scale up, they win the round. But because they have to fight from the back foot, it puts everything into a different scenario. They don't hear Stanislav charging down side hall. One trade there, and Darty, there's a nice double kill. They don't know if Fozy's over towards side. They still expect one more here towards A, and Darty's all alone right now. Finally, teammates are coming to join up with him. And he's looking all over the place. The bomb goes side with a pistol, and Freshie gets 2-tap dirt napped right there. Fruit Cup's lurking out A, though. Or B, excuse me, and this is creating a lot of space for the A players. Do Wildcard expect this play? They don't, and Fruit Cup catches Sus peeking towards middle. Fozy had his eyes somewhere else, not on the prize, and that's going to be a B site. Rotate from Wildcard for Boss, getting the bomb down as Wildcard. We'll read this well. Fozy makes that Molotov damage, and another too. Bomb went down here. More damage here against the Wildcard team might entice the CTs to save.
I think it might. Fozy had the read. He was holding the long range angle towards CT, but as you mentioned, slow on the trigger pull. That gave Fruit Cup, was it Fruit Cup? I believe it was, the window to peek out, get the kill, and slink back.
It was.
2 AKs saved for the CT side. This has been a far scrappier affair for them, though. Their economy is going to be in a rough spot. Sonic might drop an SMG. See what the investment, if there is one, is in round number 8. Darty does not secure an upgrade, stays on the glue. Boss find themselves again within striking distance of a wild card.
And Boss are the ones to use a timeout here. Don't seem to be too satisfied with the way that round played out. And I don't hate this timeout from Boss. I feel like there are things they're getting away with right now that they should patch before we get too deep into this T half. They're also almost to that 40% rate, which is above what their statistics say they should be. 37.2 T-side win rate for Boss. They're at about 25 right now. They'll get to 33 if they win one more. And they get to 5. It's a very competent T-side half of this map. They get to 6. That's fantastic. Anything after 5 is really just great. Honestly, I would say 4. And they might have something with a pistol round. 5 just gives them a little more comfort zone to work with. And this buy from Wildcard significantly lacking in utility, especially in the Molotov and smoke departments. Flashes are very low and nades are all expended. 1 kit for Fozy. And there's an M4 and 2 Galils for Bus. 2 players on Wildcard, no helmets. This is the kind of round where the no helmet actually matters.
Yes, it is. Boss. It's 2 Galils, an M4. Could find a potential one-shot headshot. Boss been going for these early leans, early plays. Have an idea in mind from the outset, but it becomes rather one-dimensional and rather easy to read. Wildcard trying to press down the ramp, though again too aggressive for their own good. Sus caught on the stairs. Sonic falling away. It's what's hero AKs. He could do some damage. Also going for a straight contact play. Sonic gets the spawn on the first. Clean kill. Spots the second. Falls back. Does not get a second kill. Freshie runs him down. And smokes off CT. These 3 remaining players might just save. They have Kevlar. They have some weapons that could be well used in the next round. Save this round. Save the next. But have some teeth in case the opportunity presents itself. 4-4, Boss tying things up, and as you mentioned, very close to that 5 that would make them more than comfortable on this T side.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing as far as the execution, the final execution is concerned. It's much less strategic and much less structured. But at the end of the day, all that matters for Boss right now is getting rounds on the board and getting out of this with 1 map each. For Boss, if they can get out of this keeping their record at 500, it's fantastic. They went into this at 11-11. They can get out of this at 12-12. Try to stay somewhat at pace with Laser, maybe higher if they can, get lucky. Laser dropped the last 2 maps that they have to play. There's opportunities for Boss here. 5 rounds. Money's still tight for Wildcard. This could turn into a Boss half, and that's where things start to get weird. And this ramp scrim, the op of Slight, might just pay some dividends. Stanislav flashed in 1-for-1. Cryptic's there, trying to add more. Losing Fruit Cup might be a bit of a sore spot for Boss, but Stanislav's 10-5 right now, so I'd say that's a pretty good trade.
It is. Again, so much aggression, though, from Wildcard. That gives away one of their rifles.
Mm-hmm.
No longer recoverable for Sonic or Susp or JBA, who are all stuck on MP9s and a FAMAS, respectively. 1-for-1, definitely worth it for Boss. More so with that information as a spectator. Another contact play from Boss. They get the kill. The early shenanigans done with. They go for these slow, methodical plays. Wildcard, though, are stacked up to try and get a kill in response. Good flash for the two MP9s. JBA and Sonic finally want to pop. Slight gets a trade, and Freshie does as well. 2 versus 2 secured. Still on even footing, still anybody's round, and Fozy still has an AK in hand as well. Off angle played, and he finds the kill onto Freshie, leaving just Slight with an op in hand. He'll grab an AK instead. Smart call. He is on low HP, and that makes things considerably more difficult. 20 seconds left. Time has gotten away from them. They'll have to try and attempt the plant in the smoke, but he's being boxed in on a long thing and a short one. Fozy allows the bomb plant, but gets the kill. And Wildcard re-establish their lead, but at a rather hefty economic cost.
Yeah, only 2 players surviving is not good for Wildcard. They do have AKs, sure, but the reinvestments of JBA and Stanislaw in particular are going to be quite testy. Also, there's a disconnect on the Boss side of things. Darty has disconnected from the server, and that is not a tactical timeout. Don't let the HUD fool you. It is a technical pause. So we'll be back into the action. I don't know if we'll need a match medic, but despite the bomb plant, Boss's money is shattered. It's absolutely in tatters. And this is going to open up an opportunity for Wildcard to build a bank, which is huge at this stage right now. So for a Wildcard team that's riding on the edge of a reset, they get an anti-half buy. This is a godsend for the CT side. And for Boss, not exactly a fantastic way to go into round number 10. They'll be looking for a bomb plant and some damage. Expect something fast. Although, considering the fact that they've grouped up for the bulk of their rifle rounds, they might try something a little more split-oriented and segmented. Still a faster play, definitely leans into the pistols and chaos that they can sow as they start to charge on through. Darty met by the AK of Sus. Fozy there around as well, but 2 kills come through from Boss. That's not horrible. If they would have gotten a third, that would have been huge, but overall, no fuss, no harm done to Wildcard, generally speaking. And we go into the penultimate of the half with Galils and AKs for Boss. Another reinvestment from Wildcard, who have yet to get the op-out for Fozy throughout the entirety of this CT half of Vertigo. And that just goes to show how back and forth it's been. They haven't been able to afford it.
Haven't been able to afford it, but he's more than holding his own on the rifle. 8 and 5 for himself, 10 for Sonic and Stan. Rifles for Boss are middling. AKs are less than ideal for Fruit Cup. Utilities lacking. But they have the firepower. They just need to hit heads.
That's the simplest form of Counter-Strike, Nate. Shoot them before they shoot you.
It's the core key idea of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, if you boil it down to its barest denominators. Will Fruit Cup shoot Fozy before he shoots him? The nade will actually scare both players away. So Fozy will grab a second nade. Darty will eliminate Stanislaw, flashed in by Slight. That's kind of the stuff you want to see from a T side. Flash peaks to get the opening kills. Freshie and duel against Sonic to get a double man advantage. But look at the damage sustained by Boss. Freshie, Fruit Cup, and Darty all under half HP. Darty in one-shot territory. Fozy and JBA still here on A. Nice little pop-up, though, from Darty. Fozy still yet to be revealed. Slight will spot him, but the high ground works for Fozy. He'll drop to the mid-ground, win the next fight, and a third as well! One by one, they peak and fall, leaving Freshie and Fruit Cup wondering what in tarnation happened to the squad, as they have a Molotov and a combined 76 HP to let freedom ring.
Two versus 5 attempt for Fozy and Susp. They went for a gamble stack on B, though, and this is the wrong decision. 15 seconds left. Time is of the essence. They should figure it out soon.
That'll clue him in. Also, that Molotov is ill-timed.
Yes, it is. It hurts Freshie even further. Fozy and Susp will go for this. Fozy is on for a potential ace. Player in heaven, player down ramp. Two very separated T-side individuals. Susp, right idea on the first. Sponsor shadow. That's the kill. Easy one. Fozy in the meanwhile finds Fruit Cup on the ramp. Clean retake from these two, playing separately, but still winning the duels as required. 7-4 wildcard guarantee the advantage into the second half. Biggest question is, will Boss hit that minimum 5 that we said would make them happy this first half?
The money does not bode well for Boss. They'll have pistols, MAC-10s, maybe a Galil, or Darty can go for an AK, no util. He'll go Galil with a little bit of util. A more prudent buy. 1 Galil, 3 MAC-10s, a Deagle for Slight. Boss trying to grab a desperate 5th. Fruit Cup is naded, and that Molotov was dropped over, but Fruit Cup will finally pick it up. I was wondering if that would eventually end up in his inventory. Wildcard have settled into the CT side now. They're looking much more confident and composed. And Boss, the one-dimensional Counter-Strike has been read. The duels are working out well. Great support flash from Sonic onto Susp. And now Stanislaus just going to take a dry fight on the flank. He drops down, and Fruit Cup and Cryptic both caught with their pants down, proverbially. Of course, wondering how a man got in the back lines. That's the round, essentially.
It's gotta be. Unless there's something wacky and zany from a Deagle and a MAC-10. But it truly does not seem feasible. Bomb isn't even in their control. Walk up ramp from Slight. Should get spotted soon. JBA is holding the cross. There's the spot. Not the kill. Deagle given some opportunities, but eventually he's taken down through the girder the hard way. It's Freshy. He knows where 2 are. He heard the shots. Leave the walk from JBA. The answer is no. 8-4 for Wildcard as we hit the halftime break.
A better half for Boss than the entirety of Ancient, but it still remains a wild card advantage and a hefty one at that. It's Boggs and Pineapple Phillips on the call. And if Boss can't convert the CT pistol round, this one may be over sooner rather than later. Smoke, Decoy, and Molotov for Stanislaw. Smoke and Kit for Darty. Fruit Cup here to defend on B. Has some help as well in the form of Darty. Fruit Cup trying to go wild with the spray. Has to get bailed out by Freshie as he falls. Freshie with a pair. Darty with a pair. No bomb plant. And a succinct pistol round victory for Boss means that we might just have ourselves a game of Vertigo.
We might just. This should get them a 6th as well. And then from there, the sky's the limit. Back to within 2.
The upper atmosphere, probably. More realistically.
That's realistic, more scientific, more exacting. But within 2, they would be once more, Boss. They were within 2, touching and going for quite a while. That is an attempt at the jump across. You know what? I don't hate it.
I don't either.
Fun idea. Fun idea. It was 2 of the Glock players doing that. I at least appreciate the attempt.
I do
Gumption
too.
to go for it. Shows us that Wildcard are having a bit of fun. Boost for Fozy. He has the Deagle. One of the 2. He and JBA picked up those weapons. This shot on the first. Chance to try the exact same thing again and hope for a different result. Even though it's the Famas taking the duel. Sonic is felled in the meanwhile. Spot from the MP9 gets the info. Famas continues to tap away. Freshie finally finishes Susp. Leaving 2 Deagles. Dead 1. Fozy catches the dropping Fruit Cup. It won't be a flawless anti-eco. But he shouldn't find a second. Not with the ammo running out as it just did. 6 to 8. Boss within 2. Near flawless anti-eco. This is where the going gets tough. This is where the rifles come through. This is where Wildcard are looking to kick it into high gear.
This is where Wildcard looked to get into gear first. They haven't even gotten out of park for this second half, I should say. And they're going to try and get it ready to rumble early on him. MP9 Fruit Cup. He wants that utility again. I was wondering if he'd go in for a rifle or the MP9. He goes with the latter. Minimal utility for Wildcard. 1 smoke left, a flash, and a Molotov with 140 on the clock. That is a hefty early utility investment for a team that did not possess much in the early going. And this mid control from Boss is actually watched for by Stan as well. The MP9 and the FAMAS. If they go for the peek towards Generator, this will end poorly.
Should
and not
end
for
poorly.
Stan.
Should end poorly.
Stanislaw has been hitting everything.
Yes, it's a very niche angle. It's more so spotting. Sonic comes up to work with Stan. He did find a slight. And Sonic goes to the bait and switch, finds the second. So both players are felled. You are right in your expectation. Swing middle to try and...
What?
Okay, Stanislaw. Laying down the law on 2. Laying down the law on the final 3. In fact, 4 in the round. Very good time to see in chat that someone's calling for his retirement.
I was about to say, well, I hope that person in chat is watching this round because I don't think Stanislaw wants to go quietly into the good night, right off into the sunset with the end credits rolling behind him. I don't think he's ready to go just yet. That spray down towards middle. Holy
Transfer was insane.
The transfer was beautiful. Look at the
Sometimes you need a
buy
leader.
from Boss.
To lead from the front. Yeah, the buys all over the place. M4s, FAMAS, 5.7, MP9. Wildcard.
Also,
We're going to group for just to play towards B.
look at the kill disparity too between Boss and Wildcard. 16, 16, 11, 10, 8, 7. And it's only a 3-round game. There's only 1 player on Boss in double digits. Cryptic's halfway there. No player on Boss is positive, and they're still reasonably within striking distance of this game.
Yes, they are.
Also,
Because the
JBA
rounds-
at 4 and 8's weird.
It is. He was quiet on the first map as well. Taking a back seat so his old dog can get some frags. I don't hate it necessarily. That first half was quite literally Stanislav running through smokes. So
It was.
flash out towards A with a fake from Stanislav. Play towards B with a split from middle is the call. Freshie first at bat finds his. JBA misses his jump to scale forward. Now just with the smoke to help. 20 seconds remain. Stanislav good for one. The flank is perfect. Fozy finds one, but Freshie doubles down in return. Final two will push in, but the bomb is down at their feet. Freshie and Cryptic, and they aren't going to let it go. 8 seconds left. Wildcard are playing for the kills. Cryptic finds one, not the second, but Freshie's already long gone. He knew that they had no chance. He's on the porta potties. And so Boss steal away the round by virtue of timing and a nice 3K from Freshie.
Yeah, Freshie. Maybe he's an anchor now, Nate, because that was good, solid anchor work from him. Yes, he did have teammates to play off of, but you have to do that as an anchor. And two, the first duel was a dry fight that he won relatively cleanly. And the spray transfer with the FAMAS was also very good. The FAMAS is not a fun gun. It's not great. And Freshie made it work for a 3K, a very critical one at that. And Wildcard are going to go all in here, opt for Fozy, AKs across the board. But again, another lack of utility for this Wildcard team who seem content to just say, our aim is better. We are going to try and skill diff you. Meanwhile, Boss have some utility. One kit on Cryptic, a double MP9 pair, and Freshie over towards jump up, drop area right now, waiting to try and shut down across. Spots the head of JBA. A bit of a messy start. Clean finish there in the end, and Cryptic was going to try and help him out, but the op of Fozy there, Fruit Cup falling as well. Freshie has to do it all alone, and he gets a second as well on the Stanislav. Freshie still alive. Fozy through the smoke shuts down Darty. Freshie low HP spots Shadow, wins the duel. Freshie 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3 to a 1 versus 1. On for the ace. Can Freshie hold it out? Sonic, our player to watch for this matchup, has busted out towards A, got the bomb to go down. Play this 1 versus 1 against Freshie again on for the ace. A 1 versus 3 ace clutch for Freshie if he can do it. Spots the utility, knows the general positioning of Sonic. It's planted for him down ramp as well. Sonic going towards side hall. Freshie there, spots the body. Freshie, half damage, full damage. Freshie with the ace. 1 versus 3. Boss within 1. But their money will be shattered. Wildcard's plant will give them more to fight with as well. But Freshie keeping Boss in it here, up to 18 kills. And they are now within 1 round of Wildcard. Maybe a timeout here from Wildcard 2 or from Boss to calm things down.
That is 8 kills from Freshie in 2 rounds. We said the individuals need to wake up. One has at least at a critical moment. In fact, at such a critical moment that he's compelled a tactical timeout out of his opponents single-handedly. 18 kills for Freshie. And as I mentioned, a second tactical timeout from Wildcard, who are contemplating an investment. It looks like they're going to go for an investment. 2 Galils, a Mac 10, an AK for Sonic, and what will Susp be investing into? Probably a Galil armor.
Maybe a Mac.
Could get a Mac if they need more utility, but I don't think they do. Never mind, they do. 8 to 9 though. This is a rather desperate force buy to try and bring themselves, or to keep themselves ahead, excuse me. Slight on the op as well for the CT side. Big boon to find from Fozy's body. I don't know if they actually found it on Fozy's body. He might have been invested. Only Freshie surviving. He actually bought the AK, so I'm mistaken. But an important round for both teams because they are both very low on cash.
This is a massive swing round, and that is a massively miffed nade. And you can't even call that an NA nade because it's the South African native in Sonic who tosses that one. Although he's essentially NA at this point. He's been here for how long? Slight! I think he moved a little bit. Also had to shoot through the bottom of the scaffolding. Trying to get that to work. Has utility in hand, and he's run down the Molotov. Not going to ward off the push from Sonic. Cryptic out in the open. Falling down as well. Freshie, though, coming through. Only one. Up to Fruit Cup and Darty's MP9. Darty isolating. That's a good fight to stick with. If he tries to take out JBA, he probably loses both. knows where he has the 1. JBA into a 1 versus 1 does not have the bomb, and Fruit Cup is rotating around, spots out, and wins the long-range duel against JBA, and the aim duel swinging back the way of Boss. The pendulum has shifted, a tie ball game, and no bomb plant means a half buy for Wildcard. Boss again broke, but this is prime time to build the cash, as they will try and get things back in here and take a lead, their first of the evening, late on Vertigo. The hour is late, and Freshy the Gray rides to Isengard.
He's gonna get the Gray, old and chiseled. Is the team's leader at this point. Pistols for Wildcard. A lot of Tech 9s, which can really run you down if you aren't weary. Deagle of Susp as well. Could be scary. Stanislaw on P250. Don't count him out. This round has teeth. Use for the op if not work. The MP9 only good for 1 on Freshy. Their top frag, their king on an SMG. Light gets 1, but he's run down by the pistols. Cryptic good for trades, though. Both tagged down by the opper. Just Stanislaw. P250 in a very niche angle. Players are lit, or that one was, I should say. Gets the spot on the second as well, does some damage. Spots them both as well. Enough to get one-shot headshots now. 1 headshot secured. We took the deeper fight, not the 1 versus Cryptic. Expensive round. He said this was a chance for them to build up an economy. They aren't going to get that opportunity, but they will at least win it and establish a lead for the first time in this series, if I'm not mistaken.
You are not. It's Boss's first round of first lead of the night, and it comes in round 19. But the manner in which they gain it is far from ideal. Their buy now worse than it was in the round prior. 3 MP9s this time, although they've actually had massive success with the MP9s, so it might not be a bad thing for Boss right now. Wildcard had the AKs out in full force. Slight has that op again, but the easy shots are proving to be a little more difficult for Slight right now. Almost feels he's second-guessing and rushing some of those shots. And I hope for Slight's sake and for Boss, he can settle down. Also, somebody had to help Freshy out. He's 10 kills above his next nearest teammate. Meanwhile, Fozy and Stan, 20 and 19. Sonic at 15. Susp at 12. The overall kill support has been there for Wildcard. Boss have somehow been able to eke out rounds where they might not exactly been getting a lot of kills in the rounds they've lost, but the ones they're winning, they're getting enough. Slight has 1 lineup for the MP9. Damage plus the kill. Nade will finish off that wounded player. Cryptic will fall, though. Susp and Stanislaw bringing this to a very winnable 2 versus 2. Fruit Cup, though, coming through that smoke, runs into Susp, and then ships around the smoke. Stanislaw strikes. Slight, op in hand. Knife out. They molly him out, and they go towards B. He's made noise, but there they go. I like that little double back from Slight, though, expecting a repeat, expecting somebody else. Looks up top, knows the fire, and now is to deal with both. General idea where both are. What a shot onto the first, onto Susp. Lightning quick from Slight. And now, maybe a little bit of sleight of hand to try and move around and outplay Stanislaw, the veteran, the longest tenured player in this server. Slight peeks right, or left, does not peek right. And tied up at 10 we are. No buy for Boss in this round. And Wildcard, the red carpet, to retake the lead in round 21. A collapse.
These rounds aren't clean. They aren't convincing. But when they're scrappy back and forth rounds, it definitely favors the T's. No doubt. Their economy's just more built for it. Boss using a tactical timeout into a save, honestly, makes sense at this kind of situation, at this point in the game, because they have 2 left. 2 left, and at most 4 rounds to play in regulation. Might as well use one now to talk things out, go for something wacky on this CT side. Not that wacky, though, Fruit Cup. An investment down to nothing. It's quite the call. Sticking with it as well. Wildcard. 3 Galils, 2 AKs, good utility. And 1 hero in Fruit Cup on Boss. Everyone else is saving. I'm not sure what the idea behind this investment is.
That Deagle, if it finds a kill or two, maybe it can salvage a rifle, but that would also require Boss being on the right site. And they're actually moving their way towards A now. There's a chance for some damage with the pistols. Definitely a very low percentage round to win, but you're just looking for damage. You're looking for guns. Maybe you can scale something positive out of it. And the flashbang enabling a prime opportunity on a JBA. Darty took way too long, but there's the Deagle from Fruit Cup. Now a man advantage. 2 kills for Fruit Cup. Sonic, Stanislaw trying to salvage the day. And Sonic sprays down 3 in a row. Looking for the last onto Slight, who picks up a Galil. And the low or the high HP Stanislaw keeping the low HP Sonic alive. The little 1-2 wombo combo around the ramp. We'll get things to a wild card lead again, but Boss made it close and dangerous. Will be buying up again as well. Fruit Cup MP9, Fresh Famas, and Darty joins him in that regard. Cryptic M4, Slight Glass Cannon Op. His op has been starting to heat up in the last couple of rounds he's had it. Can't miss now. He got no armor. The aim punch will make life very difficult for Slight. This boss have made life very difficult for Wildcard in this map. But it all comes down to this round, really, and Slight kicks it off with a bang.
Solid start on the Stanislaw, the man atop the scoreboard. Slight repositioning, still holding middle as well. Wildcard gave up on the fancifulness. They've started playing together. Trying to go as utilitarian as possible. Cryptic on the headshot angle, crouching down, gets 1, and buys time for Slight to get another. Sonic, though, gets 2 in response, and Sus strikes from the back lines. Spot onto 1. Sonic spray nearly misses, but he connects it, and Sus also mops up the B site. A flurry of kills that go unanswered, and Wildcard do at long last get to their 12th. Boss. An economy in shambles, and at this point, they're trying to limp to overtime. They need 2 rounds in a row to get there.
Limp might be generous, Nate. If they can crawl on their hands and knees, claw their way to overtime, it would be an impressive result. Even now, for Boss to come back from a 13-0 to a 13-10 or even 13-11 is still not a horrible result. But I think Boss will look back at this map and think it's winnable. Entirely winnable. That last round, they should have won it. Everything went right. The 2v2, even they had the advantage, and they couldn't win the duels. And at the end of the day, that might be what it comes down to for Boss, but they still have life. They still have one more chance here in round 23. MP9's no kit, the 5-7. But Boss hasn't really had to deal with debuses all too much in their victories either. They've either won via elimination or lost via elimination. And so, they'll try to get the drop on the wildcard rifles. We're playing very slow and methodical. Almost a little bit scared and trying to goad in Boss to early aggressive peaks, but Boss aren't going to give it to him. Except for Darty, who tries to take the side hall or the yellow fight, backs away through side hall, and will escape with his life, but not much of it's left.
31 HP for the MP9 wielder. Wildcard will slowly get control of ramp, try to do something. Probably an A pop. They have enough utility to do so. Just throw the smokes and go. Boss are already up close and personal. Slight close all the way on the scaffolding. Cryptic's nade will tag down JBA substantially. He's at 13. Already below the crane, has a nice little angle. It's expected. It still works out quite a bit. The lit player between his first and gets a trade. Sonic as well. The spray transfers are impeccable. Slight finds a second or a first for himself before heading for the hills. But Stan drops Slight, leaving just Fruit Cup to clutch. He's got the 1, but not the second. A 1 versus 1 for Fozy goes his way. And this map is anything but convincing. But it is a victory nonetheless. Wildcard survive their bout with Boss and sweep both best of ones on the evening.
Survive is a good way to put it for Vertigo. That one way too close for comfort for Wildcard. They should have had that with lock and key done and dusted a while ago.